other thoughts out of your mind except this.
This is my purpose.
Iron Fist is the final member to join the Defender, so I can say they are going to form the Defender. So Iron Fist is this particular series consists of 13 episodes. He is the last Defender to be introduced in order to form the Defender along with Daredevil, Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. Let me give you a brief summary of what's going on with this Iron Fist. This kid named Danny Rand, he is a billionaire whose parents will own this company which is a billionaire business, and then they are on a trip or something. I'm not going to spoil you too much. They're on a trip or something, and they went a plane crash near the Himalayas, and some monks found, raised and trained Danny Rand to be the Iron Fist. And while along in 10 years of disappearance, then along with that, their parents' company was run by their partner, the Wiltron family. They run the whole business. After 10 years, Danny Rand just came back for his company redemption, while he still have the responsibility to defeat the Hand with the power of the Iron Fist. So as simple as that's supposed to be, but I want to say this properly. There is so many things that this Iron Fist TV series gone very, very terribly long. Later I will be elaborating more on what is really wrong with Iron Fist. So first of all, I want to talk about these few characters. We have Vince Vaughn playing as Danny Rand. Vince Vaughn was part of the Game of Thrones series. Now he's in a Marvel Cinematic. Now he will be known and forever known as the Iron Fist. I'm still not too sure about his portrayal as this particular character, Iron Fist. I know that there will be a lot of people will be talking about that Marvel is being whitewashed, that because it's Kung Fu it should be a Chinese guy. But to tell you the truth, I thought of that as well, but after I did some of my research, was Iron Fist supposed to be a white guy? Turns out that the first main source material, first time that Iron Fist came out in the comic book series, that he was indeed white, that they follow their source material pretty well, to be honest. So I cannot really argue about that because they are following the source material, and some of the stuff they are still following the source material with a bit of changes here and in order to fit the story of that. Because the Defender was supposed to consist of the two members of Luke Cage and Iron Fist, but now they are forming a force, so there's a bit of changes here and there. So I want to talk about Danny Rand. His portraying as this particular character is a bit off to me. He didn't play well, and he's until now he still doesn't convince me. There are a few moments I don't really particularly like this character, to the point it doesn't satisfy me. It's not like how Kristen Ritter played when she was playing as Jessica Jones. The way she played Jessica Jones, because we know that Kristen Ritter is a kind of a comedic or very, very fun kind of girl to be with, but her portrayal of Jessica Jones in Jessica Jones, she portrayed a very, very dark kind of character to the point that it's likable. At the same time, she plays so serious to the point that it became, you tend to attach to her. You feel sympathy to this kind of character because she has the struggle that she has gone through. But for Finn just playing this character, it make it unlikable, to be honest. That is how I felt about it. And so to the point that I don't really feel attached to this character. But there are a few moments that I really wanted to know more of Iron Fist, but which this particular series, they did not show more of Iron Fist. They show more of Danny Rand instead of Iron Fist, which I hope that maybe Iron Fist Season 2 or The Defender, they will portray more of Iron Fist, because when you watch Iron Fist, you want to know more of Iron Fist, not Danny Rand, because they were swaying the story of Danny Rand trying to reclaim his property of his own company, being a billionaire as such. So he tried to reclaim his throne to the company while he is going through some trouble with his father's partner, children, which is kind of like their brother in a way because they grew up together, played by Jessica Stroop and Tom Felfrey. So they emphasize too much on that part, to be honest, to the point that it really take me out of the steam, where I wanted to watch more of the Iron Fist history in his training and such. Later I will talk about more on that. Jessica Hendricks playing as Colleen Wing. To be honest, I think that she is the best part of the whole series, to the point that you are mostly watching Colleen Wing, because to be honest, her character was so interesting that makes other character very, very bland. When you watch Iron Fist TV series, maybe this is just me, maybe I was expecting a lot of kung fu fighting and such, so which this particular character Colleen Wing did. She did quite a number of martial arts stuff with her katana, which shows she did quite a number of martial art and stuff, slashing and some actions, to the point that make Iron Fist himself look really, really bad, and other characters like the Wiltrum characters which makes them very, very bland. So Colleen Wing is like the only one interesting character. Tom Felfrey, to be honest, I did enjoy his performance because I've never seen him acting before, because he's portraying as being the asshole of the sibling, because the way he treat Danny Rand a bit very harshly and very, very badly. So he's portraying as this kind of asshole, even though he claims it that he's an asshole in the series. He did pretty well, to be honest, because at the same time he is controlled by his own father, played by David Wenham. So he is portraying, because he is struggling with this he kind of have a father issue, because his father is very is kind of like a control freak. So to be honest, I enjoy his particular performance, to be honest, but the script written for this particular character bores me to hell, to the point I'm not interested in this character at all. Don't get me wrong, the actor portraying this character, he did a pretty good job. Just the character himself, the script written for him is so boring. It's not interesting at all, to the point that in the first 6 episodes where they emphasize on Ward Wintram, it's so boring to the point that you can cut short. You just they lay this character way too long, to the point you get me off the steam, to the point I felt like stopping. I want to stop watching Iron Fist, to be honest. Other than that, you have Jessica Stroop playing as Joy Wintram, playing as Ward Wintram's younger sister who ran the company when Danny Rand was gone. So her performance was okay. It's not too fantastic, but it's nothing to talk about since she is kind of like a side character. Again, the script written for this particular character is so boring, takes you out of it, to the point that when you watch Iron Fist, you were expecting a lot of martial arts instead of these people talk about company stuff, their stock markets. I mean, who the hell in this mind enter a martial art TV series to see all these stupid stock company and such? The first 6 episodes, we are concentrating on this character where they are supposed to be a supporting character, to the point they became became the main character for the first 6 episodes, which will let a lot of people steam off instantly. My brother just came in when I was watching Iron Fist. He just saw this particular clip, to the point he's so bored with that clip, he just went off and swear that he will never watch Iron Fist. He was excited to watch Iron Fist until that he saw that particular clip where Joy was talking to Ward that he wanted to have a family together and such, and something like that. Oh my god, who wanted to see this character? They are so boring, they are so plain, they are so bland. But still, after the 7th episode, their character is started to cut short, and then they serve their purpose for Danny Rand, because there are some chaotic moments going on, which we will be expecting along with Danny Rand, Iron Fist. So their character did serve their purpose, to be honest. But the problem with them is that they are setting these 2 characters' foundation a bit too much, way too much, to be honest. Other than that, we have their father, Ward, and Joy Wintram's father, Harold Wintram, played by Danny Wenham, who also acted as Faramir in the Lord of the Rings series. To be honest, his portrayal is very, very bland, to the point it's not very spectacular, not mind-blowingly special. It's so bland to the point I'm not even convinced that he felt like he is acting instead of embodying the character. Almost every actor in this series that you felt like they are acting, to the point they are forcing themselves to act instead of embodying the character. Not like Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones, where she embodied the character of Jessica Jones to the point it makes you believe. While this one, it felt very, very off. Almost everyone in this series in here play very, very bland, to the point it's unbelievable. Then we have some recurring characters like Rosario Dawson. She was in a lot of the Marvel TV series, Netflix. She was in Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage. So I think she did more stuff here because she was aiding Danny Rand with his quest and such. But I'm not nitpicking, but she did quite fine, to be honest. Personally, I think that Colleen Wing, played by Jessica Henwick, Colleen Wing is the most interesting character in the whole series. but I will say that Tom Wilfred have the best performance in the whole series. That is what I get from here. Okay, I want to talk about the tone, the flow, and the character development. The tone of the series sometimes is a bit dark, sometimes is a bit comedic, but sometimes there's a bit is a mix of everything, which I'm kind of fine with it because it's really a balance. It's okay, to be honest. The flow of the whole TV series is a bit very off because, to be honest, when I watched Iron Fist, I was expecting a bit more backstory, the foundation of Iron Fist, more on the stuff. But the first 6 episodes started with Danny Rand trying to reclaim his throne to the Rand Enterprise, and then there were a lot of problems within the family. That is the part where it gets really boring because I was expecting, my expectation was a bit too high when I watched this series, that maybe I was expecting more like a Doctor Strange kind of feel, where Doctor Strange got injured, then he was on a journey to search his purpose, and he found the ability to do magic and such. Maybe I was expecting that instead of this guy Danny Rand reclaiming his throne, and then there are a lot of family political, to the point it's so boring. Then they emphasize a lot on war and joy, and then there's not a lot of action going on. I want to talk about the action sequences. When we watched Iron Fist, we were expecting martial art, but every time they perform martial art, there's no art in it. I'm not too sure about this part. I don't want to be too judgy about this part, but that is how I feel now, that every time that Danny Rand punches one guy, you don't feel the weight of his punch. You don't feel that that punch was serious. You don't feel that the punch was real. It felt like he was acting, that this particular character Finn Jones play, he did not went to any training. To the point it felt very fake, to the point it's very bad to look at to a certain point. It's not like Daredevil, the first season, where every punch that he threw was so real. Whereas this one, you don't feel it. Yes, they are doing martial arts, but there's no art in it. To the point where you started to question whether those martial art that he was throwing were they even real, or they just made it up. And then some of the action sequences that doesn't even make sense, to the point that it felt very flat, to the point it felt a bit unnecessary at certain of times, to the point, not like Daredevil, where some of the action sequences it makes sense, but this one, some of the action sequences doesn't make sense, to the point that it felt very stupid. And then it goes along with the cinematography. Wow, so many chopping scenes, to the point that it's trying to create an illusion that they are throwing real punches, but to the point it doesn't feel any real punches in these action sequences. It doesn't feel real. Like I said, it doesn't feel real. When you watch their action sequences, it felt like they are acting. But when it comes to the action sequences, there's not a lot in the first 6 episodes. I watched the whole series, but I want to emphasize on the first 6 episodes. There's not a lot of martial art in the first 6 episodes where we were expecting to be such. But the last few episodes, of course, the grand finale or whatnot, there was supposed to be a lot of punches and not, of course. But only the last 2 episodes where the action sequences was done pretty well compared to the first 11 episodes. The last 2 was done well because of all the impact, all the climax already built up. But the first 11 episodes, all the punches done wasn't real. And then there were not a lot of action sequences where they were trying to lay down the base for Danny Rand instead of Iron Fist. But to be honest, whenever the time where Danny Rand was trying to portray as Iron Fist, I don't feel that he is the Iron Fist. That is what I'm trying to get to. I don't feel that he is the Iron Fist. Maybe it's the casting problem, or maybe the action choreography wasn't done very well. To be honest, at the end of the whole TV series, when I was watching Iron Fist, I wanted to stop around episode 7 because it was getting way too boring. But I kept on going, but I did carry on. Some of the stuff at the back around episode 8, it started to get interesting, which I'm glad that they did happen, because they started to introduce the Hand, and then their tie against with Daredevil, Luke Cage and such. The last few episodes, it redeemed Iron Fist as part of the Defender, not Iron Fist as Iron Fist, but because we need Iron Fist to tie along with Daredevil and Luke Cage in order to form the Defender against this one particular evil force they have mentioned in the TV series. But still, first few episodes they lay too much. It felt like a soap opera instead of a good, decent, cliche Marvel film. Maybe I know that they are trying something a bit different, but to the point it felt like a soap opera instead of a TV series. If you get what I mean, if you watch Iron Fist. The reason why I say soap opera, because there's a lot of family issue and family politics at the same time. There's a lot of company politics as well. To the point, it does, if you take away all those Iron Fist element and the martial art element out of this TV series, it is a soap opera, to be honest. It's literally a soap opera. So if this series has more action packed, then it would be a bit more balanced. But now that I get more story instead of action, to the point it really get me off. Since you are watching Iron Fist to see more kicks and punch, so that's because you wanted more action, as it is titled Iron Fist. So that's why I wanted it a bit more balanced. If the action is a bit less on the what and Joy Winthrop story, then it would be more balanced and you'll make it more interesting in the first 6 episodes. To be brutally honest, I have no problem with the story, just the story alone, because the story can be very, very interesting, because it's for the producers take a very, very different path to tell the story of Iron Fist. I have no problems with that. But my problem with Iron Fist, this TV series, because they lay too much foundation on the rank and enterprise, and then the stuff, the family politics. I am having problem with that, and along with all those action sequences that did not do well, to be honest, to the point it really felt very off and unreal. Only the last few episodes that really redeemed Iron Fist as part of the Defender. So I can say that the last few episodes did save the whole series. But that is how I feel about Iron Fist. There's few stuff that I did like, even though I complain too much about Iron Fist, but there are few stuff I still do like about this. Around after episode 7 and 8, where we started to discover how he became an Iron Fist, those are the part that I really do like, which I really look forward to, because when I watch Iron Fist, I want to know more about him. I don't want to read comic books. I kind of doubt that people will be reading comic books where we have TV shows. So to be honest, that I felt like this particular storyline for this Iron Fist, it should be a season 2. We want to see more on Iron Fist's foundation, his training, his backstory, how Iron Fist this title was forged. Why is he a living weapon? We want to see more emphasis on the Iron Fist instead of Danny Rand reclaim his throne. So this particular storyline should be a season 2. Wow, we want to see more on the birth of Iron Fist. That is what I wanted, but I didn't get that. At the end, it felt very flat and very, very average as a TV series. But nonetheless, that I did enjoy this TV series. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It felt okay, even though the first 6 episodes was very, very bland, to be honest. But still, the last few episodes did redeem Iron Fist as part of Defender. So I'm gonna give Iron Fist a 5 out of 10. So this is what I think of Iron Fist. It took me like 4 days to finish the series because I have stuff going on, but only around the last 6 episodes that kept me going on and on and on, because the last 6 episodes was pretty good, to be honest. So I think this is what I think about Iron Fist. So what do you guys think about Iron Fist? Do you enjoy the series, or is it very bland? Are you looking forward for the Defendant? And maybe subscribe to my channel to see more video content that I produce in this channel, and I'll see you all next time.